Welcome to ID Nord's Identity Spotlight, the video podcast series where we shine a bright light on the dynamic world of identity security. Join us as we explore key issues and innovative solutions with experts in the field. Stay tuned and stay identity informed.
All right, Sammy. Hey, nice to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you again, Gustav.
And I've just gone through an ISO certification, and we passed flying colors, really good. But right after we got done with that one, they started talking about DORA. And then now I'm hearing rumors about NIS2 and all these kinds of different regulations. And I'm just wondering, why do we have so many regulations? What's going on?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, looking for 2-3 decades back in time, I mean, the amount of different regulations has exploded. And you see different, more specific regulations coming up in different industries. So this is definitely a regulating time that we live in. And NIS2 is not only a rumor, it's really coming.
Yeah.
It's really coming in this October. So why do we have them? Well, of course you need to regulate industries and businesses. But if we take it from a security perspective and an identity security perspective, I could rephrase why do they need to involve these types of security regulations above the business more business specific regulatory parts, and that is I think we as organizations and as a society, we haven't delivered by our own means good enough security in our IT environments. We haven't invested enough in building out our security posture across the years. And finally, when governments saw that due to the lack of enough security, there was both more likelihood for external threats to push through, but also internal threats and frauds coming in. So they saw that, okay, you guys, you aren't doing your job good enough in terms of security. Here you have a legislation. You better follow it or you get fined.
So an external force for the greater good, really, to push the security of, governments, companies, and countries as a whole. That's really the idea behind it then.
Yeah. If you generalize a little bit, of course, but that's my view on how it has evolved, and it's also a big difference in how organizations treat these regulations. I mean, some organizations see it being a really pain and just a tough cost or investment that they need to bring along, while other organizations see it as a good evolution of their own business because they improve their security posture, and they pretty much get a free requirement specification on what things they need to look into, what areas. So it's very broad how different organizations bring aboard the regulations. But I think, I mean, you shouldn't see a regulation as something trying to tear down your business or just being a cost. I think you need to start looking at it from an information security perspective. I mean, you should have such a security posture that they can throw pretty much any regulation or legislation on you, and you just you are able to work out with your existing internal handling procedures.
So you mean actually having a solid strategy and the tools and the processes in place, not to fulfill certificate and audit needs and government needs, but actually for your own security.
Yeah. And so I think you started with our client here who did the ISO 27000 certification, and that is a really good start. I mean, if you follow the ISO principles or the ISO 27000 principles, then you most likely, especially if you get certified, you probably have a good foundation for your information security.
Yeah.
And based on that, you most probably just need to tweak some small pieces depending on the more specific regulations. So again, if you look at the ISO 27000, I would say that again, you when you start implementing it, you shouldn't mentally be focusing on getting the certificate, but you should rather be focused on having good, proper security procedures within your organization.
So shifting the point of view from just, okay, we're going to pass this test to, okay, we're going to be so prepared that we can pass any test. So we can pass ISO certification audits, we can do DORA, we can do NIST, all of these things.
Yeah. So you should have a good security hygiene.
Yeah, it always boils down to the identity hygiene.
So identity hygiene is definitely a point here where you need to get the basics into place, and we have talked about that previously. To get the authentications, strong authentications with MFAs, you need to have the data quality in the governance and in a good place, and the least privilege principle, follow that. And then a special care need to be put on high privilege users. So those, they are, well, of course they aren't covering it all for a ISO 27000 certification, but you need to get the basics in place to get a solid foundation, and then you can start apply more security measures in your organization.
And I feel like I see a bit of a trend in the different certifications and the different requirements that they have. It seems to be more informed about the importance about identity security, and it puts more of an emphasis on, well, especially privileged accounts coming more and more, and the data breaches involving privileged accounts are so prevalent that I'm very happy to see that these regulations are also pushing the importance of securing, well, your identities, your privileged accounts, and all of it related to that. I think it's a very good movement, a good way we're heading.
Yeah, certainly, but it's one good thing to remember. It's I mean, the regulations. If looking at consultants and software vendors, it's very easy to say, okay, hey, buy this our software, or buy this package of ours, and we resolve all your regulatory complexities. And the thing is that being compliant is not about putting a lot of tons of different technologies there. I mean, you can end up in being compliant with pretty much manual procedures, but it will take a huge effort. So the tools that we have within the tools that brings various capabilities are there to ensure quality. So, for instance, that a access request procedure is ran in the same manner every time. So it's not about sending an email or creating a ticket in whatever system. So it's more of a good orchestration of how it should work out.
Yeah, it's an interesting take, this, that you can actually fulfill all of the compliance requirements just by using manual processes. But of course, these tools, they will definitely help. And in all honesty, that's what they are. They are tools to help us fulfill different things, achieve different things. And I think it's worth bringing that with you when you're going into purchasing some identity security tools or whatever it is within IT. That this is a tool that will help you get there, but you need to do all of the work behind it as well, implement it in the right way, get the processes in the right place. And once you have that in place, like we talked about before, then we'll be able to actually fulfill the different compliance requirements for any real regulation if you do it correctly.
Yeah, certainly. And this is also where we see that it's all about having a combination of tools and manual procedures. And what we see, for instance, when you approach the identity security space with this identity fabric approach, you see that you take more specific capabilities from your tool set, and then you intertwine them with manual handlings and manual procedures, and together they improve your security posture as a whole. But it also enables your business to work in compliance with the regulations. So that is also what we are foreseeing call it a trend, that identity fabric and is a new approach to see the small pieces that helps us to build up the whole picture and the identity security posture that the organizations are having.
Yeah. So much good stuff as always, Sami.
Yeah. And this is also an interesting topic that we certainly will need to follow, because regulations are here to stay.
Yeah, more regulations are coming. And maybe next time when I get my mind boggled up by some new regulations, I'll come back to you to give me the right perspective on things.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Gustav.
Thank you.
And thank you, folks. Stay tuned. Stay identity informed.